Binance has this token allocation called B tokens. Basically, if you want to trade or swap tokens on its native exchange or its native smart chain BNB, then you have to swap between Ether and B Ether, or Bitcoin and B Bitcoin. Basically, making sure that that token can work within the Binance ecosystem. However, new reports show that Binance has sort of been mixing things, sort of like FTX did. They've been having some problems labeling wallets correctly, leading to a lot of these tokens being mixed with customer funds, which is not great. Binance said that it's fixing the problem right now and that there is over-collateralization of all these tokens. That being said, it's not great to see one of the largest exchanges or the largest exchange having problems with labeling its wallets correctly. Jen, I'm going to throw the story down to you.
Yeah, so as you were talking there, I just thought, we have these large exchanges, these large crypto companies, and I wonder if internally a lot of them are still kind of flying fast and loose and acting like startups, like maybe not having the correct processes in place to catch these things. When I was reading the story, I thought I really honestly hope it was an honest mistake, but this is not the right environment to be making honest mistakes when it comes to customer funds, especially when you're Binance and you have that huge target on your back. I think just like even hearing the words mingling customer funds is so triggering for anyone in this industry right now. And so it's not the right time for any exchange to be making any of these mistakes. And I just recommend that exchanges use this time during the bear market to make sure the right procedures, the right processes are put in place, because you can almost be sure that regulators are going to come knocking at your door and you're going to have to prove that you are doing what you say you are doing. Wendy?
Couple things here. First, maybe this actually was an error. Maybe when the whole FTX fiasco happened, the crypto contagion, they were like moving funds around like crazy to try to get proof of reserves out as fast as they could. So that's one thing that comes to mind. The second thing that comes to mind is that this happens a lot in traditional finance. We talk about it all the time on the show, but it just doesn't get reported on because you can't really track cash. And a lot of that stuff isn't public information, but when we're talking about cryptocurrency, everything's on the blockchain. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and hope that they are going to do right by customers and do a little bit better job, not mixing funds and keeping things separate, and hopefully continue to set precedent for the industry to call for more transparency.
Yeah, the good thing about transparency is that it leads to accountability. And that seems to be what the story is here, right? I think if we take them for their word, they're going to address this problem and fix it, right? Sort of the ethos of open source code is it's out there on the internet for everyone to observe and to poke holes into, and therefore improve it down the line. And this is sort of similar process that I think blockchain enables, right? This is not open source technology by any means. What we're talking about here, this is proof of reserves, people looking at wallets that are labeled and known and sort of connecting the dots and saying, hey, Binance, I think you have an issue here. Binance saying, oh yeah, you're right, let's fix that. And I think that is something that is iterative and good about open source technology and sort of the crypto ethos. So it is interesting to see that ball being pushed forward which is, admittedly an embarrassing headline for Binance, but hopefully leads to this being these being more clearly delineated going forward, and that's a good thing. Will, saw your hand.
Yeah, I think we need to stop the simping for Binance here a little bit. Let's go back in time machine to January 10th. and
leave CZ alone. Leave him alone.
I'm just kidding. No, I think we've been pretty fair and balanced so far. But I do want to go back to a January 10th headline from Bloomberg talking about how actually BUSD, the stablecoin for Binance, was under-collateralized at some points for as much as $1 billion. So that's because they had a mismatch in assets tied to the stablecoin. The stablecoin is serviced by Paxos, which is a New York licensed cryptocurrency provider. So there's some fault among many parties here at the very least, but it's pretty concerning that such a large token, the third most important stablecoin in the industry behind Tether and USDC, was off its peg as much as $1 billion. And we didn't really know about it until after the fact. So I do have some questions about this reporting this morning. Doesn't seem as serious as the Bloomberg report from a few weeks ago. Zach, I'll throw it back to you.
I don't know the particulars, and I'm not trying to simp for anyone else on this show, but there are two BUSDs, just FYI. There's the regulated BUSD, which is administered by Paxos, but there's the BNB chain BUSD, and that may have been the issue here. I don't remember the particulars of this instance, but there are sort of 2 BUSDs out there, just to be aware.